yeah, beer. The name says it all. Cold, crisp and smoother than a Mark War cover drive.
Perfect for celebrating wins, drowning losses, or just yelling, oh yeah, with your mates.
It's the beer that turns a backyard barbecue into a test match after party. Oh yeah, beer. Crack one and let the good times roll.
Shout outs to Print Creative Solutions Penrith, the crew who make your brand look as sharp as a freshly pressed baggy green.
Posters, merch, business cards, they print it all. No fuss, no dramas.
If you can dream it, they'll ink it. Print, your ideas, your colours, your style to life.
G'day all you full tossers, fine leg yappers and open face slappers. Welcome to another edition of Everything Down Leg for the summer of 25-26, titled Welcome to Starc Park. I'm your host, Reece, for another episode. Joey is here as well on the line. How are you, mate?
Mate, I am fantastic. You know, the summer of cricket, it's also the summer of Christmas. And just want to show the people, I didn't get to rock my shirt last time because we didn't have the video, but I got a new Father Smithmas shirt. So as you can see there, the English batsman sitting on Smith's lap because, you know, Australia and Smith did dominate in the second test. But, mate, I'm absolutely fantastic. What a time to be alive.
Fantastic time. But was that best, though, sitting on his lap?
I think it is, mate. I think it is. Looks a bit like Johnny.
Did you hear in the news that they're allegedly SOSing the Ginger Whinger?
Oh man, I hope Kerry
I've seen
gets
a couple of reports. I've seen a couple of reports from various social media outlets that they're like, "Come on, we got to get him in. There's been a call to bring him back in." Oh man, he surely is a has-been by now.
Yeah, well, that's the term I would use.
Look, we can speculate as much as we want, but look, thank you for being here wherever you're tuning in from. Normally we'd be sitting together and doing this, but unfortunately, I have somewhat of a crazy work schedule. So, I didn't want to miss out on this. So we're here now. We're doing it. We're just going to have a bit of a chat about the test, do a bit of Big Bash because that's now on in place of the Sheffield Shield, and we're just going to keep it light and breezy.
Welcome to the conference room, where world cricket takes the zoom. Big hits, bold calls, global chat, international cricket dissected.
So, in saying that, holy fuck. What an awesome test match.
Mate, I think that's how we started the first test match as well, with those same words.
Mate,
the Gabba.
What happened? Yeah, the
Wow.
Abba Kagabadoo.
Abracadabra.
Look,
Mate, what?
it's worth. I'm just going to say quickly, it's worth mentioning that sadly, it's probably going to be the last time we see an Ashes test at the Gabba. How do you feel about that? Because the Gabba's just sort of, it seems very synonymous with summer. I know we've got to move on eventually. You know, stadiums come and go. We've got to make way for bigger and better things. But before we get into it, how do you feel about such an icon on the Australian calendar, like not being there?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, the Gabba is such a staple of cricket, and especially Test cricket as well. You know, the Gabba's it's been around since the dawn of time, basically since the dinosaurs roamed the earth. So, mate, the Gabba, it'll be sorely missed. I get what they're trying to do, but I don't like it.
I think what I'm a bit upset about is the fact that the Gabba, along with the Grand Old Ground, the SCG, are the only two pitches in the country that are traditional. So we're going to possibly, I don't know, are we going to see off the Gabba's traditional preparation for a drop-in wicket? Yeah, that's...
It'll be interesting to where are they moving it to? Townsville, did they say? North Queensland?
Yeah, there's going to be, I think we're going to be hosting Bangladesh next year.
In Townsville, I'm pretty sure.
During our winter. So they're gonna, because we had the ODIs. Was it ODIs we had earlier in the year? Was up in the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely looks like it's an option to get a little bit more cricket. Whether it's too much cricket is yet to be seen. But I'm interested to see, just a little segue. I'm interested to see what they do with the new stadium. But we'll worry about that when the Gabba draws its last breath. But mate, I'm gonna get what I need up, but I want your first impressions of this test match because holy hell.
Mate, where do I begin? Who do I begin with? Let's start off with the man that we've named this episode after, Mitchell Starc. Now, mate, a 7-for in the first test in the first innings, a 6-for in the second test in the first innings, and then 77 with the bat. Is there anything this guy can't do? You know, I'm waiting for him to take Kerry spot as a wicketkeeper next test. So,
Well, he
mate,
started out as a wicketkeeper, didn't he?
look,
In the
the
early
guy's a
years?
freak. The guy's a
Yeah.
freak. You know, we spoke a little bit about, you know, Hazelwood and Cummins not being there, and everyone's going, oh yeah, you know, both of them aren't there. You know, there was people saying, you know, worst Aussie team since 2010, blah 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 blah. But Starc has sort of come back into this side and just said, you know what? I think you all forgot about me. I think you all forgot about how good Mitchell Starc is as a bowler. Like 450 test wickets now. You know, he's surpassed the likes of Brett Lee, Mitchell Johnson, you know, some absolute great fast bowlers. And, you know, he's catching up on Glenn McGrath. So, mate, I thought he was outstanding. I thought our first innings was incredible. A lot of 50s. I thought the top order were really, really good in that game. I thought Jake Weatherald had probably his best game. I know he's only played 3 innings so far, but I thought that was his best innings to date. And then Martin Labuschagne with another 50, and he's back in the runs.
Yeah.
Really good to see. He's back to his old ways. The ball went past him, and he went, ooh! So great to
Yeah.
see him animated. Great to
He's
see him
back
out
to
there
his
again.
back to sort of twitchy self. But we won't go too far into it yet. Let's dial it back a little bit. So Joe Root, he's done it. He's finally done it after about 12 years of touring in Australia and a lot of disappointment. He's finally got that well-wanted and well-deserved century, 138 not out off 206 balls. Mate, you've just got to look. I know you get into me about this, but the bloke's all class, and it was that moment where I thought, look, we had a fairly, you know, Starc. He had a good innings with the ball.
Yeah.
It was a little bit we kind of expected, and I think this is the thing that the public and the Australian dressing room thought was it was going to be a pink ball test. We'll play an all seam attack. It's going to be you know all hunky dory. But based on what happened in the West Indies, and I'm not, and you know this is like from my work with the ruck infringement, that I'm not the sort of person that's going to just talk down a team for the sake of it.
Yeah, me neither.
In the context, I mean, come on. It was the West Indies. They were a force once. They're not a force now. It's no wonder that Starc blew through them with another fifer. It's no wonder that Scott Boland took a hat trick against them. Even at the time, I thought it was a brave call to leave Lyon out of a pink ball match for the West Indies. But I thought it's probably you know, I could see it making a little sense when it came to England. But at the same time, I was a bit concerned, especially after what we saw on the first day and the sort of like the first, you know, bit of the bowling innings. And, you know, someone like a Lyon could have probably choked the strike out of Joe Root for a bit, but they know they know what they're doing. I think they know what they're doing. I just think that we got a little bit caught up. It was like we blew through the West Indies. We'll do the same with England. England are not the West Indies. England are just a little bit better.
Yeah,
in terms of context.
I was really shocked about the Gary dropping. I think I said it to you about 10 times before the game. I just couldn't believe it. I was going to boycott cricket altogether at one point. But, mate, it just really shocked me because as much as like it may be, you know, you don't want him there because you need the pace attack. To be fair, Brendan Doggett, look, he rhymes with another word, dog shit. I didn't think he was that good in at the Gabba, and I think if you bring a lino in, you've also got that experience too. You know, he's played 100 tests. The guy's 37. You know, he brings that experience in the team. He's a great outfielder as well. He's always fielding at point, and he's also the 3rd highest wicket taker in Australian history. So I don't know how you can drop him.
Yeah, me either. And Brett Lee came out recently and said he was speaking about the quartet that all these people are saying, oh, Lions should retire, let someone else in, and the similar calls come out with Josh Hazel because he's always injured. But he's saying, look, you've just got to understand that you've got something really good here, and you're not going to understand that until they're all gone, and they're probably all going to go at the same time. But we've got plenty. We'll chat about that a bit more, but we'll go through this as well. So I said Joe Root, 138 not out off 206 balls. Good stuff. Root.
I thought you froze then.
The Barmy Army. Zach
Oh,
Crawley.
no, we're now having technical difficulties.
Zach Crawley finally doing something. 76 off 93 balls. I mean, look, I expected that because if you're coming off a king pair, you're going to want to make some runs. You're going to want to do something. Yeah, he crawled there. Look, we don't have to go into that too much, but I just think you and I know, as you have a bit of a shit go. You're going to do everything that you're possibly going to do to try and get some sort of result your next game. So I don't think anyone should really be surprised with Crawley going past 50. But as you mentioned earlier, Mitchell Starc yet again 6 for 75 off 20 overs. On the expensive side, but that's 6 wickets that no one else took.
That's right, exactly. And what's that? 17 for the series so far. 2 games
after his stupid performance in Perth. I say stupid because I'm not that good. And then we've got
it's the opposite effect.
Yeah, exactly. So we got Michael Neser in there as well in the wickets, 1 for 43 off 14. So it's good to see Big Daddy Ness back in. I think he's been one of the more unluckier ones in recent years when there's been an injury or any sort of form dip. Fortunately, Scott Boland has held the torch very well, but Neser, just a really surprise packet, I think, in the whole bowling lineup because. And the only reason why I say that is because of Carey going up to the stumps, and you don't see that a lot in modern cricket. You definitely would never see Carey going up to the stumps against Starc. A, it's a death wish, and B, Starc would never allow it. But we know Starc's when the Aussies win. I need to be positive. When the Aussies win in Adelaide, there's going to be no road through for England, and I'm calling it now. Mitchell Starc is going to be the player of the series after that 3rd test. So we know what he's doing. We know what he's capable of. But thoughts on Michael Neser, mate?
Mate, I love Michael Neser. I think he's a fantastic player. As you said, probably the most unluckiest man in Australian cricket. Every time he plays, he does his country proud, and especially that second innings. I know we're not there yet, but that second innings, he took a great fifer in that. So I think we know the talent he possesses and what he can do. He held his own with the bat as well in the first. I thought he did pretty well batting with Kerry there and an Inglis as well. But mate, I really like Ness. So I think he's been very unlucky.
Yeah. It's really good to see his batting getting some recognition too. You look on the scorecard, you'll see the little ball and the little bat there. So he's going down as a bowling all rounder. His Shield form is definitely a lot to thank for that. And I really am serious about him being unlucky because I think we have a good bit of depth in our tail, as evidence is what we're about to discuss. And having someone like that with a bit of experience of the bat, the ability of the bat, is something that I think the Australian side could really benefit from.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I think I think what I love about Australian cricket is that usually we can bat to number 11. And I think that's a real testament. I mean, we saw that in the first innings, didn't we? We saw all of the batsmen made a score and made double figures, which I think is the first time in a long time or first time in history. But look, it was really, really good to see the tail can wag, and you don't see that in many other nations. You don't see that at all.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. So I think I'm pretty, and don't quote me. We might have to clean this up later, but I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd time in the history of the Australian batting innings where every member of the 11 went past double figures.
Yeah, wow.
And it hasn't happened since the late 90s. So it's been a long time coming in. It's I don't know about you. It kind of feels like a stat that you'd never consider. It's like one
Yeah.
of those. It kind of feels like something that you'd hear coming out of the random stats guy. It's just not. You don't. I certainly would have thought that. There's no universe where I'd think, oh, they all went past double figures. And what made it even better was, again, Mitchell Starc. Yet again, 77 of 141. Now, I felt like, and give me your thoughts on this, he played as well as any of the top six.
Oh, I think he played better. I think what I love about Starc is this isn't the first time he's done this. It's not like
Yeah,
a Jason Gillespie who made 200 and everyone was shocked.
yeah. Well, he
Starc,
has 99.
yeah, Starc is a
Yeah,
good batsman. He's a very very good batsman, and I think we've seen that time and time again through, especially through recent Australian history. Like look at Pat Cummins. Pat Cummins can bat. Nathan Lyon can bat. Joshy Hazlewood can hold the stick. So it's really good to see. But in terms of Mitchell Starc and that 70, I thought that was class. That was all class, mate. And some of those fours and sixes, it wasn't like he was just throwing the bat either. All placement,
yeah,
mate.
yeah. He was batting. He was batting right through it. If you notice, he was getting his hands through the ball. Head placement was
Yeah.
good. It's just it was like watching, it was like watching any of the top two, the top three. Just the fact that he was out there for so long. It's worth noting too that while he was doing that, Scott Boland was batting for 2 hours with him, and he only
Yeah.
got about a 20 odd, which in the context of the game, is like commendable in its own right. Never mind
His own
77 from
game as
Starc.
well.
Yeah, yeah.
Incredible from
Never
Scotty.
mind. Never mind the 77 from Starc. I think the fact that he was able to go along with that, play the supporting role for the for the position that they were in, that there was no reason why the England side should not have rolled through them at that point. But credit to those two, they stuck it out. But it was good to see Jake Weatherald as well, repaying the faith in the selectors with a nice 72 off 78. I don't
Yeah.
think that was the only 70 either. I think we had a couple of get into the 70s.
I know. I think they were it. I think maybe Marnus. I think Marnus
Yeah.
made 70. I think we had Kerry in the 60s. We had Smith in the 60s.
We had a lot
Cam
go north
Green
of 50 though.
46.
Yeah,
Sorry?
we had a lot go north of 50 though, didn't we?
Yeah, which is very good.
Yeah.
It's what you
I
want.
only have
And
the
not Travis
top
Head this
figures
time.
Yeah, not Travis Head, but it was he got more than 30, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there was only two or so scores that were less than 20, but they were all over double figures, which is a really good thing to see. Now here's where it gets funny. Brighton Cast 4 for 152 off 29.
Oh, how good. Raise the ball.
Again, that's 4 wickets that no one else took, but that's a very damning figure to see 152 against your name off 29. Like you'd expect to see the Starc numbers of runs conceded around the amount of balls that you had delivered. It doesn't get any better for the captain either. Good to see the captain getting the 3 wickets. So Ben Stokes 3 for 113 off 24. England, I'll give them credit. They weren't expecting that to happen. They bowled as well as they could, and Australia were just better. They were just better. It was a fantastic day for the Australian cricket team at the crease. But I'm going to move on a little bit because this is where it starts to feel like a bit more of a traditional test match like we haven't seen much recently. This is where it started to feel like the likes of a Starc 77 and a Joe Root 138 seemed like weeks ago, because you move into the second innings of the England cricket side. Ben Stokes 50 off 152 and Zach Crawley 44 off 59. Now Ben Stokes is only there because I'm going off runs scored, balls faced. I'm going off run rate after that. But there are a lot of other batsmen that stuck with him that just planted their feet into the crease, and they weren't moving. It was taking a lot of time out of the game. So I wanted your thoughts on that. When you're in such a position that England were put in, so they weren't expecting the Aussies to bat that well. Do you think that sort of strategy, where they seemingly, to our surprise, put Bazball in their back pocket, they just put it away and they started playing Test match cricket? Do you think this is a case of us seeing that England are no longer able to play properly without the whole Bazball rhetoric?
Mate, I think it's just a bit premature. I think, they came out saying, they're playing this style of cricket, Bazball and whatnot, and like it's sixes and fours and it's attacking and scoring runs. And then they don't go and do that. And it's very hypocritical. It's sort of like, well, you can't really say that, you're the kings of Bazball, because at the moment the Aussies are actually playing more Bazball than England are. The Aussies are trying to attack at everything. Look, credit to Stokes, like a good 50 he held in there, but I just think England are just lacking punch at the moment. They're just lacking punch in their attack, even in their batting, and I just don't think they know. It's like they're getting tired. They don't know how to deal with Starc at the level he's bowling at. A lot of these guys, your Jamie Smiths and your Harry Brooks probably haven't really dealt with Mitch Starc too much. Stokes and Root have, but a lot of these guys are young guys. It's their first time. Some of them, it's their first time in Australia. And it's showing.
This episode of Everything Down Leg is brought to you by Wick Coffee, the only thing stronger than a Curtly Ambrose stare down.
Forget instant, that stuff's about as useful as a broken Kookaburra bat. Wick Coffee hits harder than a 6 over cow corner and keeps you buzzing longer than a rain delay rant.
So if you're dragging your feet like a tail ender facing spin, grab a Wick. Smooth, bold and guaranteed to wake you up quicker than an LBW will appeal.
Wick Coffee. Don't just face the day, smash it out of the park.
Do you think this is where and obviously every team has to move on, but do you think this is where they're really lacking in terms of the experience that a Broad or an Anderson would be bringing? Whether or not they've had the
absolutely.
Success, whether or not they've had the success in Australian shores, because I know Jimmy Anderson would probably live to forget a lot of his tours over here, as much as he's been, a fantastic servant of the England cricket team. I feel like they're missing a trick. Now, obviously, Broad's off doing the Channel 7 commentary, and we now love him, as much as it's hard to admit. But I feel like we should be having and we'll talk about it in the Big Bash shortly, because there was something that was mentioned in last night's game that I really enjoyed. I feel like when you had someone like an Anderson who's played with the team for so long, you should almost do anything that you can to try and keep them around, as just someone that's around the camp, or as a mentor, and is in there with the players, and they're doing bowling drills and throwdowns and chatting about different stuff, which is kind of one of the things I noticed about George Bailey, our selector. For all the criticism he gets, he's willing to get into the nets, get in there with the guys, and go through all the drills. I feel like it's almost his way. Well, I had a hand in selecting him. I may as well get my hands dirty, which you don't see that with a lot of selectors. But do you think we're seeing that with the England cricket team? There's not enough experience to draw on when, as Stokes said, this is not a country for weak men. But where are the people showing them how to be tougher men?
Mate, 100%. I think you look at the English bowlers that won at the Ashes, Anderson, Broad, Graham Swan. Where are those guys? Where are they?
Yeah.
They should be in the camp. They should be taking this team through what it means to win and what it means to win the Ashes. You know, they
Yeah.
single-handedly, like Graham. All I remember as a young guy is Graham Swan doing the sprinkler after they won,
Yeah.
and it was so humiliating. You know, as an Australian, it was so humiliating watching that England team dominate, and they've just got no one there. Like I know they've got Trescothick in. I think he's a batting coach.
Yeah.
But again, like it's batting. I think Paul Collingwood's there too, I believe.
Yeah.
But you know, there's just even Brendan McCullum, like he's a batsman. He's a batsman.
Yeah.
You know, they've got no bowlers to lead these young bowlers to
Yeah.
victory.
You can't, in a lot of cases, get any tougher than Baz. He's one of those cricketers that just showed up and just put 110% in. But they've also got Andrew Flintoff over as well,
Yeah,
touring with
okay.
the English Lions, who, was the captain of the team that came over in 2007 and got absolutely humiliated by the
Yeah,
likes of Gilly and co. But when we went over in 2019, we took over Ricky Ponting. We took, Steve Waugh. We had Brad Haddon come over as well. Gilly was
yeah,
over for a little bit, but he wasn't. He came over as a bit of a consultant for a little bit, but he could have just as easily stayed on. We took everyone that we could over with us, and might not have won the series, but we retained the Ashes. You know, maybe teams could look at that and just think, well, we need to start including some of our greats. They might not do much.
yeah,
Maybe they're just there. Maybe they're just there.
yeah.
Maybe
Absolutely.
England just need James Anderson to just come on the tour and just hang out with everyone. Maybe it will calm the nerves of the younger guys coming through. So
Just stand there and stare at them as they go in the bowl.
I wouldn't want to be stared down by Jimmy Anderson. That would be terrifying. I'd shit myself.
Get ready for a
Um,
broken fucking arm.
so Zach Crawley backing up again, 44 for 59. But here's where the moment that ended my life on the spot. Michael Neser, 5 for 42 off 16.2. Look, that was a joint effort, I will admit, because we had Alex Carey putting on probably the best wicket-keeping display I've ever seen in any Test match. To be able to
Absolutely.
get to get the good look on those edges, and we had
That's stumping.
obviously
Oh,
that's stumping, and that nice little nick off Stokes. I can't keep up with that when Lino's bowling. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, he's edged it. It's out. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear two
can I just say
noses.
something, mate? I don't think I've ever seen you so erect in my life.
I've never felt so erect in my life. I felt like I was gonna.
Oh,
I felt like I was gonna crash the car. But mate,
too heavy.
this is the bullshit part about this team. It's harder to get into the team than it is to get out. And Michael Neser's played all of his. I think he's only played 3 matches. I'm certain, and they've all been pink ball matches. He hasn't had the chance to show his craft at different levels.
Yeah.
And we're not going to see him in Adelaide, and my heart bleeds. But credit to him, he's taking every opportunity he gets, and he's delivering every time. So,
Yeah, for sure.
would you? Isn't that what you'd sort of look for? You'd rather just see someone come in. So there might be their only test, but they're in to do a
Yeah.
job. He was there to replace Nathan Lyon. Everyone was, thinking that by day 3 that was a mistake. I still think it was, but he definitely repaid the selectors' faith by putting in a good enough performance to end the English innings, because they're like I said, they put Bazball in their back pocket. I'm pretty certain they
I
were playing for
I could
time.
make a case for him to replace Doggett at Adelaide, but
Mm.
I think they'll bring Gary and of course Captain Pat's back as well. So
Yeah, so they'll bring Cummins in, they'll bring Lyon in. Scott Boland's fairly safe.
yeah,
Which was my next point.
I think Doggett and Neser will go.
Yeah, so Scotty B, 2 for 47 off 17. Next best figures. Look, he has had a little bit of a lean run, but I think when it comes to when it comes to the MCG, that's something where we might see him alive, especially now. We know he's going to play the whole series, barring injury, but he's pretty solid. Unfortunately, with Hazelwood being ruled out
Yeah.
alongside that Achilles injury, which we can have a chat about in a sec. But this is like what I was saying to you before about how it felt like this test match went on for 15 days. We come to the second Australian innings. It's like where was that century from Root? Where was that effort from Starc? It was, oh god, that was days ago. That was gone forever. See ya. This is box office now. This is the Ashes
Hell
cricket
yeah.
that we've grown to fucking love.
That's
And
right.
it wasn't without drama, especially since there's no reason why we should have lost 2 wickets when we were chasing 60 fucking odd runs. But we did.
Yeah.
It was part of it. They wanted to get done. Look, they're obviously trying to beat that storm, which was ugly coming through. So Travis Head, I'm just going to give you all what I've got. So Travis Head, 22 off 22, run a ball, trying to move it along. That's good. Jake Weatherald, 17 not out off 23. Marnus Labuschagne, 3 off 6. Look, I think you can, given that Marnus has had back-to-back 50s, he's found a bit of a touch in a situation like that.
Yeah.
Look,
Safe.
yeah, I'd throw the bat at it. Stephen Smith, SPDS.
Harvey Smithmas.
I have never. There he is. There's the big fella. I have never seen him that ecstatic for a win in a very long time. Even during his complete batting domination in the 2019 Ashes, he kept it cool. He kept it relaxed. He kept it like it was maybe Brisbane 2017 was the last time I saw him a bit up and about, because that was probably one of his best innings.
Mate, I got something to talk about with Smith. What's the
Yeah.
go with the black strips he's wearing under his eyes?
So it's I know it has a lot to do with Shivnarine Chandapal, but I know it's had a lot of this thing in NFL where a lot of players wear it and they just think that because it encompasses the certain peripheral imaging around the eyes, that darkening around that reduces the glare.
It's like rugby league players when they wear headgear thinking it'll help them, and it's literally
from a
just
concussion.
it's not even padded.
Yeah, but Shiv Chandapal, Steve had reached out to him to ask him about whether or not that did anything, and he did claim that it reduced. I think he said up to about like somewhere between 30 and 60% of the glare. But what he was upset about was the fact that he was wearing them wrong.
Mate, it made him angry. It was like he had war paint on it. It made him angry. The little fella.
Especially when he had the the likes of Jofra Archer staring him down for no reason whatsoever. We look. There's a point where I want to chat about that, but thoughts. It's gone. The game's gone.
Yep.
It's good to see that in the Ashes. It's good to see. I'm not the sort of person that's just gonna expect England to lay down and just give us the win. I want them to come at us with aggression. I want them to give us a fight. I want us to prove to the public that we're picked for this reason. We're batting for this reason, and like obviously the England supporters are going to expect that. But how much of a cop out is it that the game's gone, and all of a sudden now you decide you want to start bowling north of 150?
Mate,
and chat about it.
I absolutely loved the theatre. The theatre of it was so good. And what got me up was, I don't know if you watched the Channel 7 commentary, but Punter was getting into it. I think Punter was ready to throw the gloves on. Punter was almost out there as soon as Archer started chirping. And, it didn't make any sense to me. Like, Smith's right. Like, you're only bowling fast when there's nothing going on. And I love that call. It's such a good call because, everyone knows the history of Smith and Archer. Obviously knocked him out in 2019 when Labuschagne came on as the miracle sub, and everyone was quite worried about Smith in that. So It was good to see Steve Smith get it over him, but yeah, what a
Yeah.
flop.
But the thing with Archer and Smith too is a lot of people don't realize that they were teammates for a while with their IPL
Yeah,
franchises,
yeah,
and I reckon there's a lot we don't see behind the scenes. I reckon in some respects they're still mates, but Archer had said publicly that he's willing to put that on hold for the Ashes, and rightfully so. I mean, you're going out there in such a massive rivalry. You're doing your country proud. There should be no room for that sort of ease up just because you know each other off the sideline. So it's really good to see. I'm really excited to see Archer have some firepower, but the timing could not have been any poorer.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, mate, look, fantastic test. I loved every moment of it.
Yeah. So Gus Atkinson was the only wicket taker. Well, the only wicket taker for that innings. 2 for 37 off 5. Archer none for 28 off 5.
Didn't even matter.
It didn't matter. It was gone. But one for the record books, mate.
Oh, absolutely, mate, absolutely. And now that's 2 tests that we've finished inside 3 days.
Exactly. So we're moving on to the well, that's the Gabba test done. So I just wanted to move on quickly to the Adelaide test, which
Adelaide.
Starts this week at time of recording. It's in 2 days. Mate, expectations for the Adelaide test.
Mate, look, I think it's another 3-day victory for us. I think we'll just get through them pretty easy as we have already.
Slower
It
pitch?
just, yeah,
Honestly, a little bit of a slower pitch.
yeah. Look, so I'm hoping because it's a bit slower, we bring Gaz back. Gaz is nice 5 or 6 are there for Gaz. I would love to see him come back and take 5 or 6 wickets and just, keep getting that wicket taking up for Test match cricket. But mate, my expectations. Pat Cummins is back. Really, really excited to see Captain Pat and see what sort of form he's in. Obviously, he's been training the house down, but has been injured. So if he can get back into a rhythm, it'd be fantastic. One thing I want to see is what they do with Usman. Does Usman play? Has he finished? Because it's now the 3rd test we haven't seen him, and I think Head's doing a great job.
Well, you would have seen in the broadcast last night at the Big Bash, Mr. Cricket was quite animated about how, given that we only saw him for the 1 test, he had the back spasms. Never mind how he got them. He wasn't
Yeah.
able to do that. He had 1 innings that it's probably a little bit premature to go, right, you're out. What are your thoughts on that? Because, like you've said, we've seen Head do such a good job. I don't know personally if that's a long-term solution. I think we do need to have an established opener. I know he does very well in the subcontinent. But, obviously Jake Weatherald's, putting a lot of faith in the selectors at the moment.
Sure.
The other thing is that they're saying they could leave him there and Usman could drop down the order, which I don't think is a good idea.
Nah, look, I have to agree. I personally think Usman may have played his last game of cricket. I just think he'll get to the end of this series. He's going to have a hard look. He's 38. He's going to have a hard look and go, is it worth going another year? He's had back spasms. We know that once they start to get big injuries like that, it's hard to recover. Mate, in terms of opening, I could see a world where we've got Constas and Weverald as our openers. Travie Head back down at 5, which where I think he flourishes there and sort of comes in as that Mr. Fix-It sort of character. So, yeah, it'd be an interesting one. But, yeah, I think Usman may have played his last game.
I think that'd be, and I'm pretty sure I heard David Warner talking about this, was, the idea of Travis Head dropping back down to number 5 is probably a worse outcome for England because, if he's up there at the top, they're going to want to get him early. That's going to be their goal. They're going to be hyper fixated on making sure he's back in the sheds. But I think we need. I think he needs to go back down for that reason. It's like, well, we got through everyone, but fuck, that means Trav's coming out now. Oh, Perth, and then it's like mind games. Or like I played on the weekend. And the funniest thing I heard was anytime we played shit, by the way, but anytime the runs were ticking over, it's like, oh, don't worry, mate. It's just a tactical change of batsmen. We'll just keep them on their toes. And I thought, you know what? That's not too far from what the Aussies need to do in Adelaide. They need to probably go back to that formula of fear that, oh, well, we've done all the good work, but it instantly could just be taken away from us like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think definitely the inclusion of Cummins and Lyon to reform the bowling stocks is going to be, that's something I think we need to hold on to. Like
Yeah.
that, we know we've had the batting woes over the years. Like, fortunately, they showed signs of, this is what we do when we bat properly at the gather. But the bowlers, I don't know about you, but they always seem like they've been the solution to all of our problems.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm just so keen for the Adelaide Test. It's been a long week and a half since our last test. So just, mate, bring it
Yeah,
on. Bring on Thursday.
I don't know what you've been doing with yourself. I certainly feel like I've entered a state of complete and utter stasis. There's just, I can't imagine how it's been for you. Your poor children.
Oh,
Daddy's not present.
no.
He's waiting for the test match. Mate, fantastic stuff. Really stoked about that result. Looking forward to Adelaide. That was the conference room.
Big innings need a solid foundation, and that's where Dream Flooring Penrith comes in.
Timber vinyl carpet. They'll cover your pitch better than a groundskeeper before a storm.
Whether it's your lounge, your man cave, or the kids' playroom, they'll lay it down right. Dream Flooring Penrith, flooring that lasts the distance. This episode is fueled by Gibson Country Style Jerky, tougher to put down than Steve Waugh in the 99 Ashes.
Packed with flavour, perfect for road trips, match days, or just pretending you're out bush. Forget soggy snacks, this is the real deal. Gibson Jerky. Chew like a champ, play like a legend.
So we're going to move into a bit of a domestic blitz.
This is Domestic Blitz, where state rivalries exist. Big moments, big hits, score a 6. Then some moments that'll give you the shits. It's Domestic Blitz.
So for this one, we're just going to have a little bit of a chat about Big Bash. So
Yeah, beautiful.
you've got a few things prepared, but
Yeah.
yesterday, obviously, look, I'll be the first to admit I'm not the biggest T20 fan. I love Big Bash, but I like the long forms of the game. It's always a part in the calendar. We're like, oh well, it's a good thing. There's cricket on every night, so I'll take some comfort in that. So every night between now and January, there's going to be a game on.
How good.
What happens? Thunderstorm warning.
Oh,
So I'm sitting here thinking, this is a cruel joke.
mate, it
We just
was
wanted to have a
a
bit of fun, but yeah.
what an absolute start to the Big Bash season. Hey, I was
Yeah.
settling in. Of course, we've got our Big Bash Super League comp running as well, so it's not too late to join. We'll throw the code in the description. SC Rings have sent us some championship rings, so they are up for grabs. Very, very good rings. So make sure you do jump into that. There's still time to jump into our comp. But mate, the Sixers played the Scorchers last night in the opener. I think had it been a 20 over game, I actually think Sixers would have won because they were starting to really build towards the end. Jack Edwards, 46 not out. He was looking great there at number 5. But obviously 113, and it wasn't enough to get it done. The Scorchers, they got it done quite convincingly. I thought what I really liked was sort of that middle order from the Sixers. So I was really impressed with Jack
Yeah.
Edwards, and then he came out with the ball, took a couple of wickets. I thought Ben Dorshus was pretty good as well. And Josh Phillippe, I thought he was great behind the stumps for them. On the other side of things, mate, the Scorchers now, Mitchy Marsh. I was expecting big things from Mitch Marsh. Gets out for a duck. He did open.
Yeah.
Got out for a duck. Yeah, went very early, which did surprise me. I had him in my Supercoach team, and he got me a big fat 0 because he did absolutely fuck all. But yeah, look, it wasn't great if you did have Mitch Marsh, but I also had Jack Edwards in my Supercoach. He does play twice, so I thought he was really, really good to have. Actually, threw the VC on Ben Dorshus. He got 52, so that was really good. And I had Josh Phillippe as well. I did have Sean Abbott. I didn't think he wasn't playing. I thought that Sean Abbott would have played for sure, but didn't play in that game. Mate, I'm just watching Renegades and Brisbane Heat currently at the moment. Of course, Renegades are 2 out for 75. A couple of big hitters in at the moment. Sepheret, if I've spelt that wrong, but he's 45 off 24 balls at the moment. And Jason Fraser McGurk, Rooster, is in now as well. Rooster is on 10 there for the Renegades. So Renegades looking pretty good. I'm going to back the Heat to get it done, though. I think they will be too good in that one. But yeah, don't forget to join our BBL Supercoach comp, still going strong.
Perfect stuff, mate. Now, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. So, obviously, the game that's
Go
happening
for it.
right now, as you mentioned, with the Renegades and the Heat, you've got Mohammed Rizwan lining up for the Renegades. But then you come back to the Sixers, and all the hype and the chatter around Bubba Azam lining up for the Sixers. I don't think the Big Bash League really had too much of an issue drawing a decent crowd. But how much of an impact do you think having the likes of Bubba Azam, who's probably the best T20 batter in the world,
Yeah,
whether or
except
not
for
he
last
stays
night.
at whether or not he stays at the number one spot forever, it's like no one's going to forget what he's done for the T20 sphere. Is it for our comp? Because a lot of players around the world will often they'll go, oh, Big Bash is great. Big Bash is awesome. They'll have that over their own leagues. I know there's a lot of support for the IPL, but I think the Big Bash offers a really well-rounded, nice, structure compared
Yeah.
to India, which is always hot and humid. You've
Yeah,
got
absolutely, mate. I think having those sort of players in our comp is fantastic. I think
mm,
obviously we didn't get Ravi Ashwin this year. He's ruled out due to
oh,
injury, but was set to
that would have
play
been
for the
great.
Thunder. Would have been great
That would have
bowling,
been
Ravi.
so good.
But I think having the likes of Bubba Azam and Rizwan, who played tonight, he got out for 4, by the way, as well. Not
Mm,
great. But having the
yeah,
likes of those boys definitely would draw a crowd and more of our multicultural fans as well. I think a lot of obviously Rizwan, Bangladesh, I'm pretty sure he plays for, and of
Rizwan's
course Bubba
Pakistan.
Azam. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Pakistan there, and then Bubba as well. So
yeah.
I think having those boys is really, really good for the game.
Mm. I'm like I said, I was quite upset to see Ravi Ashwin not line
Yeah.
up, especially such a wonderful servant for the Indian cricket team. To see that he still wants to try and give back to different fans around the world. I think that's the draw card for me with these franchise cricket leagues is you see some of the greats retire from the longest format and they're touring around the world and doing this sort of stuff. I was really hoping. I was hoping for a good innings from Bubba Azam, but with the fact that it was reduced to an 11 over match,
Yeah, it doesn't
uh,
help, does it?
I think that was just the accolades are going to go to the bowlers. So, mate, what you're seeing so far from the 2 games we've watched, what are your thoughts about the rest of the season? Like, do you think that the crop of the players that you've seen play so far is going to create some exciting cricket?
Yeah, I think so. Look, just live, Fraser McGurk did just get bowled by Wildermuth. So it is 3 for 82 now for the Renegades. Mate, I think for the rest of the competition, I think it's going to be great. I mean, look, I'm the same as you. I'm not a big T20 fan, not a big Bash fan. I love the Test match cricket. I love the strategy and the skill behind it. And I can sit for 5 days and watch a Test match. I absolutely love it. But what I love about watching the Big Bash is I love the expansive style of cricket. Playing the new shots and the way that they get the crowd involved through music and getting people up and dancing and things like that. I think it's
Yeah,
really good. But for the comp, I actually think the Thunder have a really good team this year.
yeah.
Obviously, I'm a Sixers man myself, but I think the Thunder have a really, really good squad, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go deep.
Terrific, mate. Well, look, we're plenty of games to come for the Big Bash and all exciting stuff. Really, I like what you said about the Thunder. I think
Yeah,
the Scorchers have got a good team too. I think
yeah,
they're missing the experience of Berendorf for
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah, it's hard to say for now. I'd like to see a few more games, but as we know, there's a game on every night, which is going to be fantastic if it doesn't rain out.
Yeah,
But mate,
exactly.
This episode is brought to you by The Corner Post, the local sports store that's more reliable than a third umpire review.
Forget dodgy gear and backyard knockoffs. They've got the proper kit, merch, and fan essentials to keep you looking sharper than a cover drive through point.
Whether you're cheering from the stands or sledging from the couch, The Corner Post has you sorted. Support local, play hard, and don't get caught out. Shop The Corner Post. Stay fancy eyewear, because squinting into the sun is for rookies. Look sharp, play sharp, and turn heads, whether you're at the crease, the pub, or the office.
These aren't just safety glasses, they're a statement. Stay fancy, see the game in style, and stay one step ahead of the glare.
We're going to do a little bit of local legends.
Local legends swing big on the cricket pitch. Crack of the bat, what a mighty hit. Our hometown heroes never quit. It's local legends. It's local legends.
So local legends, I haven't got much prepared. Like I said, it's going to be a nice, easy sort of chat this week. But the only one that stood out for me, and I'll read this out. This is from December 12. There were 8 players across various different leagues in the country for 1 week with scores of over 200.
Wow. Okay.
8 different double centurions
Wow.
across various different comps.
Across one weekend.
Across 1 week, just various
Wow.
different, and 5 of them were not outs.
Wow. That is so
200
good.
is not out. The highest score he got was so I'll read out these names because obviously all these people listen. John O'Donnell from the Moral Bank Cricket Club in Victoria, 252 not
Shout out,
out.
John.
Yep, we also have Lawrence Wright from Albany Creek Hawks Cricket Club in Queensland, 238.
That's right.
I'm probably going to get this one wrong, but I'm going to say Faisal Nassim, Guildford Leagues
yes.
Cricket Club in New South Wales, 232 not out. Scott Edwards from Altona Sports Cricket Club in Victoria, 229 not out. Then we also have Ben Curtis from the Warriors Cricket Club, New South Wales, 211 not out. Jaden Vince, Newtown Cricket Club in Tasmania, 209.
Wow.
Sam Wills, Sorrento Cricket Club in Victoria, 205. And again, I'm probably going to get this wrong as well. Piyush Pujara, Seven Hills Cricket Club, New South Wales. So one a little bit more, well, a couple close to home for us. But mate, one thing I've been loving about the club cricket is there is just an influx of fantastic scores and figures. Like I saw one the other day where it was this guy took like 17 wickets in a single day. So he took like 9 wickets in the first innings and like a bunch more in the next innings. So obviously it's a 2-day match. So it's going like where do you think we stand in terms of the current crop of cricketers coming up? You know, a lot of them are just playing for club. A lot of them are playing, you know, they're probably not going to go too high. But do you think we're starting to see a little bit of shift of talent going upwards a bit more?
I think cricket is in a really, really good place. I think locally, you know, they're getting the Regos now. They're getting young kids playing. They're getting teenagers playing. And as we saw, like the performances of those boys, you know, 8 of them, 200 runs each, it is incredible. And I think if we see those performances, some of these boys could be future Australian cricketers. I mean, if you keep batting like that, it's not long before you get noticed, before you move up the grades. But I think cricket's in a really, really good spot at the moment locally.
Yeah, and what we should have done too is we should have mentioned that we've got a lot of the under-19 boys coming through the like in the under-19 World Cup at the moment that are just lighting up the stage with everything that they're doing. And another thing that I heard was the Central Coast mob went up to Port Macquarie very recently and took that one out. Yeah, the country
Shout out
champions.
to the Coast boys.
Fantastic work, and you picked the right time to be involved with them again, I guess.
Yeah, mate, you're going to play is it the over 50s or?
Yeah, I'm playing the over 50s at the moment. Yeah, because, well, I move like I'm over 50, so yeah, I guess I'm.
That's just a point, mate. Just a point.
Mate, absolutely
Oh.
fantastic stuff. A little bit of a short one this week. We do apologise. We will be more prepared going forward. But this is what
Good,
this
mate.
is
It's a
all
good
about.
chat.
This is about having a bit of fun, keeping
Exactly.
it light, keeping it breezy. But mate, you've got all of our sponsors there.
I do, mate. I do. Of course, lots of sponsors on board for cricket this season. We've got Wick Coffee, so make sure you check them out. Wick Coffee going really well. I have been posting each video ad on our social media as well. So go to our socials, Instagram, check that out. Of course, Oh Yeah Beer, which I'm currently drinking at the moment. Fantastic beer. You can actually buy these at Dan Murphy's. Let them know that the Everything Down Leg and the Ruck Infringement sent you, and they might give you a high five. So check them out. We've also got Gibson Country Style Jerky, of course, our major sponsor, who back on board and with us for the past 4 years and hopefully for the next 40. So should be amazing. Of course, at Print Creative Solutions, they do shut this week. So if you are local in Penrith, they're shutting on the 19th. So this is their final week of trade until January. So make sure you get around them. Stay Fancy Eyewear, of course, fantastic Christmas gift moving into the Christmas season. Check them out, Stay Fancy Eyewear. Some awesome safety glasses going around. And of course, we can't forget the Corner Post. Now, Corner Post, Westfield, Liverpool, of course, they will be open over the Christmas period as well. So make sure you head over to Westfield, Liverpool, check them out. Fantastic stuff. And of course, our good friend Miko from Dream Flooring in Penrith, another local business that is absolutely thriving at the moment. So, yeah, lots of sponsors, a few more coming on board. If you do want to be a sponsor, if you are a business and you do want to sponsor us, please head to our social media, slide into our DMs, or send us an email at ruckinfringementpod@gmail.com. We would love to have a chat about potential partnerships and sponsorships with you for the 2026 season. But back to you, mate.
Fantastic stuff, mate. And please do, patronize all of those companies, and make sure if you've got a use, get involved, because they're all fantastic people. They've all been
Sure.
wonderful supporters of us, and they're all good for a chat. And it can't hurt to support local, perfectly homegrown business. But mate, look, we're going to end it there. Thank you for joining me once again. We look forward to the next synopsis for the Adelaide test, the Radelaide test. It's going to be fantastic. But until then, that's Joey. I'm Reece. Take those wickets.
That well.
That's been everything down leg. Thanks for listening today. Your summertime cricket.